Hi everyone, this is Sachin sir. Let us today start with mechanical properties of fluid. Most of the questions from mechanical properties of fluids are theory based. In the last section of the same chapter we have seen mechanical properties of solids. Let us see some concepts of fluids now. Okay. First of all, we have to understand what is density. Density, as we all know, that is mass by volume. Please write its dimension and SI units as well. Let us move on to the topic of relative density. Relative density is nothing but density of any substance. Its ratio with the density of water at 4 degrees Celsius. You all know that density reduces and it becomes expands from 4 to 0, which is called as anomalous expansion of water. If you calculate density of water at 4 degrees Celsius and it is at denominator, and in the numerator you have density of substance, that particular ratio is called as relative density. Okay. Next, let us move on to pressure. Pressure is nothing but another name for stress. Pressure is force by area. SI unit is Newton per meter square. SI unit is Pascal. 1 atm of pressure is equal to approximately 1 into 10 to the power of 5 Pascal. Atm is an unit for pressure that you have seen in chemistry, that is standard temperature and atm pressure conditions. You have used various sites. SI unit as atm. Okay, atm is one atmospheric pressure. Archimedes principle is very simple. Suppose if I throw this stone or some stone or this scent bottle, perfume bottle into the water, same mass of water is coming out of the liquid. Okay, same amount of the liquid, or water is coming out of the source. For example, if I throw 5 kg of a substance into water or liquid, 5 kg of amount of water or liquid will come out of the water surface. Okay, that is what Archimedes principle. Next, let us move on to concept of viscosity. Viscosity is nothing but opposition offered by different layer of the fluid. For example, you have two surfaces like this, and upper surface is moving towards left side, but downward surface will pull it back, just like friction between the floor and the palm of our leg. Okay, since friction doesn't allow us to move forward, in the same way the downward surface of water doesn't allow the upper surface of the water to move forward. This opposition force or the dragging force is called as viscosity. Viscous force formula is minus eta into a into dv by dx, where a is area of the surface of contact. Both the surfaces are in contact. The area is a is area of the surface of the contact. Dv by dx is velocity gradient. Why velocity gradient? Why it is negative to force is a dragging force is always in opposite direction to that of velocity changing. Velocity of the liquid is forward direction, but dragging force is always in opposite direction. The relation between dragging force and velocity gradient will be always negative. Okay, next comes coefficient of viscosity. Coefficient of viscosity is nothing but which is more or less equal to shearing stress that we have studied in mechanical properties of solids. Its formula is eta is equal to FL by AV, that usually comes by stress by strain formula. Shearing stress by shearing strain, but shearing strain is nothing but delta x by L, which is delta x with respect to time. The delta x is displacement. With respect to time, it will give us velocity v by L. Suppose if I keep v by L in the place of theta, I will get eta as FL by AV. Next, let us move on to Poiseuille's equation. Poiseuille's equation basically explains there are two laws. One is Poiseuille's law, another one is Pascal's law. Pascal's law usually come in the concept of pressure. Pascal's law explains that if we have a source of liquid, and if I produce a force at one point or pressure at one point, this pressure is equally terminated, or with equal magnitude it can move in all the direction with the same magnitude. Okay, next, Poiseuille's equation. Poiseuille's equation will explain, if suppose I have a long metallic pipe, suppose water is coming out of this pipe with pressure P and its length is L and radius is R, the rate at which liquid coming out of this pipe will be given by pi p r raised to 4 e 8 into eta into L. L is length of the pipe, P is pressure, and R is radius of cross section of the pipe. Okay, P is pressure, R is radius of the cross section of the pipe, L is length of the pipe, P is pressure with which water is coming, liquid is coming out of the pipe. Okay, we have seen in this page, we have seen Poisson's law, coefficient of viscosity, Archimedes principle, pressure, relative density. Please take the screenshot or read it again, pause the video and lessen its speed and go on studying these concepts. Please keep one notebook or NCERT book by the side. Okay, we will next move on to the next topics. Stokes law. See, Stokes law is very simple. You have a tumbler of water whose density is rho. Suppose you have water like this. Suppose you are throwing a ball of radius r and it moves with velocity v. Then there exists a dragging force on this ball in the opposite direction by water. Okay, this liquid will apply opposite direction on the ball. That dragging force is called as viscous force, that is given by Stokes law as 6 pi eta into rv, where v is velocity with which ball is drowning inside the water, r is radius of the ball, and eta is viscosity coefficient, 6 pi is constant. Okay, that means force is directly proportional to radius of the ball, force is directly proportional to velocity of the ball with which it is traveling, and force is directly proportional to coefficient of viscosity, as it's a dragging force or the viscous force of the liquid, so it is directly proportional to coefficient of viscosity. Terminal velocity, it is nothing but, suppose you have a long well completely filled with water, and if you throw a round shaped ball, a spherical ball whose radius is r and its density is sigma, and density of the liquid is sigma, and density of the ball is rho, and you are throwing the ball, after certain time, the downward weight of the ball and upward viscous force of the liquid both become equal. Okay, both become equal. One is acting downward direction, another one is acting in opposite direction, so both become equal, and at a certain point, with some velocity, body will stop. We have to calculate what is the velocity with which body is stopping when both downward force and upward force becomes equal. That velocity is called as terminal velocity. Formula is 2 into r square into rho minus sigma g divided by 9 eta. Eta is coefficient of viscosity of water, r is radius of the ball, and rho is density of the ball, and sigma is density of the liquid, g is acceleration due to gravity. So velocity with which ball is stopping, the terminal velocity is directly proportional to square of the radius of the ball. If radius of the ball increases, the terminal velocity also increases. Terminal velocity is directly proportional to rho minus sigma. The rho is the density of the ball and sigma is the density of the liquid. That difference will directly proportional to velocity, and Vt is inversely proportional to viscosity, because viscosity as it is more, terminal velocity will be less. Okay, if viscosity of the ball is very large, suppose you are replacing this water with honey, its viscosity is more, so ball doesn't move inside honey because viscosity will be very maximum. Terminal velocity becomes very less. Okay, next let us move on to equation of continuity. Suppose you have a pipe like this. Here area is A1, velocity of the water is V2. Suppose water is, let us assume water is flowing from right hand side to left hand side. Here area, right hand side area is A2, velocity of the water is V2. Then A1 V1 A2 V2 relation is given by A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2. Okay, this is called as equation of continuity. Next we have Bernoulli's principle. Suppose we have a pipe like this and water is flowing like this. Here velocity of the water is V1, here pressure of the water is P1, height with respect to ground is H1, here pressure is P2, here velocity is V2 and height is H2, here pressure is P3, velocity is V3 and height is H3. Next, according to Bernoulli's principle, at every point in the liquid's journey, sum of pressure energy, potential energy and kinetic energy always remains constant. For example, here pressure energy is P1 and here height is H1, so its potential energy becomes mgh1 plus Here velocity is v1, that means kinetic energy is 1 by 2 m v1 square is equal to at all the points it is constant, that means it should be constant with here and here also. Here pressure energy is p2, potential energy is mgh2, plus here kinetic energy is 1 by 2 mv2 square is equal to here pressure energy is p3, and uh, okay, this is what Bernoulli's principle. At all the condition total energy should be same. Okay, all the total energy should be same. Here the sum of pressure energy, potential energy and kinetic energy should be equal to condition at here and condition at here. If you divide this whole quantity by volume, but unit volume as you have taken here, kinetic energy per unit volume remains constant, you will get m by v, m by v, m by v, m by v means rho g h1 plus 1 by 2 rho v1 square plus p1. So here becomes p2 rho g h2 half rho v2 square, p3 rho g h2 half rho v3 square. Okay, like this the total energy at all the three conditions remains constant. Okay, this is synopsis. Next, let us move on to some topic of surface energy or velocity of efflux. Suppose you have a long a big tumbler. Here you are having orifice or the pipe, height with which it is at is height is h, velocity with which the efflux, the outflow of the water is coming out, is given by v is equal to root of 2gh, where g is acceleration due to gravity and h is height. Okay, usually next we move on to the topic of surface tension. Surface tension is any tangential force acting on the surface of the liquid, tangential force acting on the surface of the liquid which makes this surface look very smaller. Okay, that usually does the work, that surface tension usually do the work, that is called as surface energy, or work done is called as surface work done, which is mathematically equal to surface tension into surface area, surface tension into surface area. Since area is usually in the liquid, surface area is usually in the form of spherical, either it will be spherical drop or spherical bubble. In case of surface energy or surface work done, we get as I have told you, surface tension into surface area. Surface area is usually spherical, so it is 4 pi r square. Surface tension is S into 4 pi r square. So work done in case of liquid drop or any water drop is given by S into 4 pi r square. It is usually S into 4 pi r square, where in the case of bubble it will be 2 into S into 4 pi r square, because liquid drop is having only one surface where bubble is having two surfaces. So you can hold bubble in your hand while washing clothes or using shampoo, but you cannot hold bubble like this, isn't it? You make a bubble out of chewing gums that you can hold because it is having two walls, but you cannot hold a water drop for a longer time because water drop is very thin, it is having only single surface. It's work done by surface work done on surface energy is S into 4 pi r square. Here surface energy is 2 into S into 4 pi r square basically. Okay, the rise in the liquid capillarity formula is given by H is equal to 2s cos theta r rho g. Suppose you have a surface like this and height of the liquid is h, contact angle is theta, and radius of this capillary tube is r, density of the liquid is rho, acceleration due to gravity is g, surface tension is s, then height of the rise of the capillary or downfall of the liquid inside capillary tube is given by h is equal to 2s cos theta divided by r or rho g, where r is radius of the capillary tube, rho is density, g is acceleration due to gravity, S is surface tension, H is the either rise of the liquid inside the capillary tube or downfall of the capillary tube. Okay, so we have today discussed various concepts. First we have seen relative density, then pressure, Archimedes principle, Pascal's law, viscosity, coefficient of viscosity, Poiseuille's law. Next we have also seen various concepts like Stokes law, terminal velocity, its formula, equation of continuity, Bernoulli's principle with an example, and we have also also seen velocity of efflux, surface energy on the liquid drop, bubble, that is cases of surface worked on a surface energy. Then we have also seen height of capillary rise or downfall of the capillary rise inside a capillary tube, that is H is equal to 2s cos theta r rho g. R is radius of the capillary tube, rho is density, g is acceleration, s is surface tension, theta is contact angle, and h is capillary rise or capillary downfall. Okay, please pause the video or take the screenshot and just refer NCERT textbook and previous notes. Let us come up with some problems in the next class. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Bye.